as we had a very quick user interface idea about what is MySQL server, what is a workbench, how do we use it, we saw writing certain simplest queries over here in terms of MySQL. Now, let's see that how we all can get some same data and we can work upon the same database so that whatever queries I write is also available to you in terms of writing the queries, in terms of getting the responses, in terms of understanding that how I am generating certain reports with the help of SQL queries. So let's see which database I am going to install. So here if you go on the MySQL sample database, this link I'll be providing to you in the video below. So here you can see this is a sample database given by MySQL. Why I'm providing this is when you install MySQL as a server, there are certain instances where Sakila as a database would not be installed. And I want everyone to be on the same page. So let me give one data installation for you and let me show that when a pre-created database is given, how do you install it within few seconds and get the data ready at your end. So here in this site, you can see there is a download database option. Let me click on the same. Now you just have to download it. Don't do anything as such. Now in this, you can see it's a zip file where the data is being stored. It's a sample database given by MySQL server. So that if you don't have a database created, you can use it as such. Now what does this database has? Now this database has schemas related to certain things such as customers, products, product line, order details, payments, employees and offices. And this is how the schematic representation of the relations within the tables look like. As you can see, the table seems to be related to each other, which means the information is related to the same set of entity and it has been traveled or it has been stored in different tables. Now we will be using MySQL in terms of gathering the outcome. Now here I have installed the same. Let me unzip it. Extract all, extract, and this has been extracted. I just have to extract it and keep it. Now one mistake which I have seen many people do is they download a file. Now for MySQL or for SQL, the file extension would be .sql and this file extension is .sql and this is how it looks. When I open this file directly from here, when I have installed it, this is a very common mistake which people do and this should be avoided. Why? Because when you open a file from this, only the file is open. The server access is not being given to you. You always have to open an SQL file which is shared with you with the server access. That is from the workbench itself. So when you open this file, this is how it looks. You can see this is how it looks when I have opened it directly and it will show me that this is what unconnected. Now why unconnected? Because if you can see there is nothing showed in schema, nothing in it, administration, because it's not opened from a server access. It has been opened from a direct file. So only the file is being opened. It's not sharing any connectivity issue. So that's why it is shown as unconnected and I don't want it. So I will close it. This is a thing which you have to avoid. That is opening a file directly from your installed part. Where what you have to do instead is opening a file from here. So whenever anyone shares you MySQL file or anyone shares your file related to SQL, it's not only me but others as well. So what you have to do is you have to go on the file. You just have to go not on open model, you just have to go on open SQL script or open recent. Recent will show you all the recent SQL files which are open at your end, but as we don't have any recent as such, let us go on open SQL script. If I click on the same, you can see these are the files. Now I want to go in downloads. In downloads in MySQL sample database, you can see this file. Now you can see the extension which is stored over here is .sql. I'll open it from here and this is being shown. Now you can see it's not showing unconnected for us. Why? Because it's connected to the server and opened over here. And this is how you have to open your SQL files. If you see, this is a pre-created SQL code which is written in order to create a database. Now obviously I do require this all things which are there. So what should I do in terms of installing all the information which is being given over here is to do Control A. When you do Control A and execute this part. Now what does this as a query do? This will execute only those statements where the cursor is there or one SQL query which is terminated. That is, it will only execute this till this. With this. But with this, what it will do, if I select certain regions and certain queries and run this, so all the queries will run at once, and this is how we will see. So I do Control A and click on the same. With this option, you can see multiple queries have been executed over here. Multiple queries have been executed, but I still can't see Sakila as a database. Sakila though is there. I still can't see classic models as a database because what database is being created over here, that is classic models. Let's see how this classic models as a database is created over here. So if it is not being shown, it doesn't show or it doesn't mean there is an error. You can refresh it from here. So when you refresh it, you can see classic models as a database being available and the tables which are being shown over here. So these are the various tables which are stored in the classic models database. So this is one way to install a pre-created database at your end. We didn't do anything, we didn't write any SQL statement, we didn't write any SQL code, still my database is being created from a pre-created file which was given from any else individual over here. So this is what I have created it. One another way to do this is I can drop the schema. Drop means it has been eliminated, it has been removed completely from here, and what I can do is I can go on server. Another way to do it, server, and in that server you can go on the data import option. Now data import will also do the task which we have done earlier, that is taking the file and running all the queries. But without me opening the file over here from the open option or anything, or without me selecting all the queries and running the flash symbol. What you will do is, you will not import from dump project folder, you will import from the self-contained file. Now what is the meaning of self-contained file? A file is being given where all the queries are being written related to your database creation and the insertion into the database. If you go on this, you don't have to open this file. You have to go on these three browsers and you want to open the path. It's in my downloads. So downloads, My SQL Database, and this. This is a file where my database creation code is being given. I just have to open it, and this is how you open it. If after this you have to go on import progress, what it will do is when you go on import progress, it will ask you to start import. So when the import is starting, you can see the import has happened. You can refresh it and you can get the classic models as a database over here. So you can close this part. You can close this part. Let's say, let me close this part. And if I want to select classic models as a database, what I could possibly do, let's say use, I write a comment, use classic models as database. So I'm writing a shortcut as DB. So what I'll do, as I've said, it's derived from an English language. So as it is asking in the question, use it. So I'll write what? Use. Use what? The database name, not use database. Use and the database name. That is classic models. When you do this, you can see it has been used. It's in bold format. When the database name is in bold format, that means that is in use. Now, if I want to see all the tables shown in this database, I can do right, show tables. So these are the tables which are available in this database. So what did we understand over here? That is, if you want to gather a file, if someone has created a database and they want you to use that database, you can simply run entire query, or you can go into the data import option to import the data into your server and start using it for the same. Now, this option will help me to create data quickly and fast, so you don't have to do anything over here in terms of writing complicated queries as such, because someone has pre-created the database and shared with you. You just have to run the query and you just have to get the database to get started with writing some SQL statements over here. So I hope you understood that how should we gather data from a pre-created database file which is shared with you.